Hello everyone and welcome to Kim's Cozy Corner. I am in the kitchen cooking some healthy, nutritious meals for my family, and I thought I'd just bring you with me. I am getting ready to go on a business trip again, and I'm going to be gone for a week. And I wanted to give my family some nutritious meals to eat while I'm gone. And so I had already started cooking, and I'm like, I didn't bring you with me. So I wanted to talk to you about those meals that I am creating for them. And I also wanted to go ahead and make my hot sauce for the year. I don't know what I've been waiting on, but I'm going to make the hot sauce because I'm using a lot of the same ingredients for the two meals that I made for my family. So let's talk about the two meals first. The first meal, believe it or not, is so simple. It was so simple. I made them, I guess it's a corn chowder is how it would be, but it's potatoes. So potatoes from my garden. I just grabbed a jar, poured it in, grabbed a jar of corn, poured it in, and y'all, guess what? That gave me a potato corn chowder. I added in about a cup of half and half or heavy whipping cream or milk, whatever you have, and I made this delicious meal. Here's a picture of the delicious meal, and we ate on it already for one day. And so then I upped it. I added broccoli to the meal, and now it's broccoli, corn, and potatoes in a nice creamy sauce. But it's absolutely delicious. I know my family can eat on this meal for at least a day or so while I'm gone before they move over to the next meal. And everything came from a jar and not from the store. The next delicious meal that I made for my family is I guess, I guess the closest thing I can call it would be a Cuban black bean soup. I think that's the closest to something you may know what it is. But I took some cans of black beans, so I didn't grow black beans, but I'm gonna have to start growing them because now my family loves this meal. So I got some black beans, and I have one can of nothing but black beans, and then this is some kind of fancy black bean here that's got jalapenos and tomato paste, onion, soybean, and garlic, but still no unknown, I'll put it that way, no preservatives, anything like that. It's just what I just said: black beans, water, onion, tomato paste, salt, jalapeno peppers, and garlic. That's all that's in here. So there's the black beans. I also added some stewed tomatoes, and I've had stewed tomatoes now. This is from the year 2022. And so I grabbed some stewed tomatoes, put that in there, and I really wanted I wanted it a little creamier from a tomato-based standpoint. And I do have paste tomatoes that I canned up, but I have so much sloppy Joe that I grabbed a can of sloppy Joe. And my sloppy Joe has onions and peppers and just a hint of sweetness to it. So there's the sloppy Joe. I added that, and then I added beef broth. It's already in the pot. I'm going to show it to you in just a minute. Added beef broth and some frozen peppers. So here's an example. Like, here's some frozen diced up peppers. I've added that to the pot. So my black bean or Cuban black bean soup is almost done, and they're going to eat on that later this week. But here's a picture of that black bean soup. Now, it's not completely done yet. I have all of my ingredients in it. I did add some spices. I added cumin. I added a little cayenne pepper. I didn't even add salt because there's salt already in these beans from the cans, but mixed it all up together. I sauteed those peppers just a little bit before I put them in there, and so you can see how it looks right now. I could eat it just like this, but I want it to be a little thicker from a base standpoint. So we're going to blend up a couple cups of this soup, pour it back in, mix it in together so it'll be a little thicker soup. But that's the only step left. And then 2 nutritious meals waiting on my family. And now, y'all, we're gonna make some hot sauce. So when I pull the blender out, I'm only gonna pull it out one time, and we're gonna blend everything that needs to be blended today. Last year, I made the best hot sauce I've ever made in my entire life. It was good enough I could sell it. And I got so many comments. Everybody wanted this hot sauce. I mean, I'm getting ready to head down and I'm going to see my daughter and her fiance, and they're like, bring some hot sauce with you. So it's one of the reasons why I'm going ahead to make the hot sauce now. But this is a very simple Louisiana style or vinegar based hot sauce. This is not fermented hot sauce. So this is super quick. I'll be able to finish it up today. And there's not much to it. The only ingredients: salt, vinegar, peppers, onions, and garlic. That's it. That's all that's going to go in it. I'm going to jazz it up just a little bit because I'm going to saute some onions from my garden. I'm going to saute some fresh peppers that I just grew this winter downstairs in my indoor grow space. And then all of the rest of the peppers that I have here, all the rest of them, they are from my 2024 garden, and I just froze them. I froze all these peppers, and we are going to drain the water off of them, and then we're going to cook them up, blend them up, and then y'all got, guess what? We got hot sauce. It's that simple. So I'm going to take you with me as I'm prepping this hot sauce. And one of the things that I'm going to do first, one of the first things I'm going to do is drain the water off. For all of the peppers that were in the freezer, they're already thawed out, and we want to drain the water off of them. And there's a couple bags here that I forgot to remove the stems, so I got some stems to remove too. So let's get that draining first. So for the hot peppers that we're using, I have serrano, I have Anaheim chili peppers, I have jalapeno peppers, a couple paprika, and I know paprikas are not hot, but a couple paprika peppers as well. I also have jalapeno peppers, not jalapeno peppers, so I can have the jalapeno taste without the heat. And I don't even have to worry about cutting these up. I mean, I really don't, because we are going to blend it all up in my Vitamix blender. So really, I don't have to do any of this cutting, but these pieces are kind of large. We'll go ahead and cut them a little smaller as they're draining. I'm also putting in sweet peppers as well. So I need a good mix between the sweet peppers and the hot peppers. I don't add any sugar. Oh, there's also some poblano peppers in here, but I didn't add any sugar or anything like that last year, and I'm hoping to replicate that this year. That's the plan anyway. And some of these are already diced up really small. That's why I'm using my little strainer here. And some of these are from 2 years ago. I still had peppers left from my 2023 garden as well. My goal is to double the batch compared to last year. Last year I used a teaspoon of salt and I used 2 cups of vinegar. This year my goal, we'll see, is to use 4 cups of vinegar and 2 teaspoons of salt. I just don't know, because last year all I had was 1 of these. I don't think I have 2 this year, but we'll see. We'll go ahead and dump these. And I will finish with all of these peppers. And I got every hot pepper I had out of my freezer. Because the one thing that my family that likes hot pepper said was it had the best taste ever It just wasn't hot enough. So they want it hotter. I'm going to make it hotter. All right, these 3 bags are all hot peppers, poblanos, a mixture of hot peppers, and then just hot peppers. And for these, I need to cut the stems off because I didn't do that, and I should have, but I didn't. Anytime I'm dealing with hot pepper, oh, and I'm keeping seeds and all, by the way, y'all. I'm keeping seeds, I'm keeping everything because I want it hot this year, or hotter, I should say. Here's a bowl I can put scraps in. I'm hoping I have enough red peppers that the hot sauce has a beautiful red color to it. That's my goal. Last year it was perfect, and I do mean perfect. The color, everything about it, y'all, I couldn't complain. I was so happy. I kept telling everybody about my hot sauce. I said Texas Pete didn't have nothing on me, but it was that good to me as well as to the rest of my family. Just wasn't hot enough. So let me get these peppers, or the tops off of these peppers, and then I will bring you with me as I keep working in the kitchen today. And when I say I'm getting ready to leave for my business trip, y'all, I mean like in a couple of hours. I'm gonna be leaving in a couple hours. I waited to the last minute, didn't I? You technically should not leave your stems or your peppers when you put them in the freezer. So don't do that. Take your stems off. Don't be lazy like I was. At least I think I was the one who did that. I ended up with 8 cups of peppers, plus a couple more that I'm getting ready to roast, or saute, I should say, before I add them to the batch. So let's get those sauteing next. I'm going to take my gloves off because I think I'm done touching hot peppers. Y'all always use gloves anytime you're dealing with a bunch of onion or hot peppers or anything like that. And now I got to put my gloves back on because I forgot to dice up the onion. So I'll dice the onion up, then I'll bring you back and we'll get over to this stove and start roasting. Okay, I've already used this skillet, cast iron skillet, to roast the peppers for my black bean soup. I'm going to add just a little more. I think this is olive oil. Yes, it is olive oil. We're going to add some olive oil. And we're going to roast up these potatoes. And we're going to roast up these onion and the fresh peppers. I didn't do that for the peppers that came out the freezer. Only the onion and fresh peppers. I believe I'm warm. We're going to put a little char on them. I'm going to use a half teaspoon of salt just to help sweat these onions. And I really want that char. That char is what's going to give the flavor, or I should say take the flavor up a notch. So we do want the char. So we'll let them sit here for just a few minutes and then we'll stir them again in a second. On this back aisle here, I'm going to put my vinegar in there. For the vinegar, white vinegar would be better. I personally just like apple cider vinegar. So I got my apple cider vinegar in there. I got my stove on as well. And we're going to add these peppers in just a minute. You know, it was that easy to make hot sauce. I mean, I'm sure it's that easy to even make fermented hot sauce, but I just hadn't got to it yet. I have all of the equipment and everything to ferment. I just hadn't got to it yet. But I am trying to clean my freezer out. I don't want nothing in the way when this year's harvest comes in. So we got to empty jars. We got to eat our harvest. You know what I'm saying? We got to eat it so we don't have to go buy that stuff from the store. And yes, I bought the broccoli from the store. I said I wasn't going to buy broccoli. I was only going to eat what I grow, but my family wanted some broccoli really bad. So if broccoli is the only vegetable I've bought from the store in over a year and a half, I think I've done pretty good. And I've only brought it one time. So I think I'm doing okay. I got to give myself a little grace, right? All right. While these are still doing their thing, I'm going to go ahead and get this in. Y'all know what I forgot, don't you? You know what I forgot? I forgot to talk to you about my garlic. So there's probably about 20 cloves of garlic, and it was in my freezer. I'm just gonna pour it in there on top. Gotta have your garlic. So now it's garlic, onion, and peppers. If I had fresh garlic, I would have used fresh garlic, but I didn't have any, so this came from the freezer. So the vinegar, I'm gonna bring you over here and show you. The vinegar is just almost covering my peppers. I'll show it to you in just a second. So you see the vinegar is not quite to the level of the peppers. Now the peppers are gonna cook down, they're gonna get nice and soft. But for now, that's what it looks like. So I'm gonna keep roasting these peppers and onions and garlic. When it's done, before I put it over in this pot, I'll show it to you so you can see what kind of char I'm talking about. But until then, I'm going to clean up my mess and then I'll be right back. All right, there's the char. I could let it go a little longer, but I'm not. There's that char. So we're going to go ahead and get this over into our pot right here. And I want that char, so I'm scraping as much out as I can. All right, we're gonna mix this up. And we still gotta get these vegetables nice and soft. So this is gonna have to cook for a little bit. 15 to 20 minutes of just cooking this down, getting everything nice and soft so we can blend it up. I think it's gonna be hot. I think so. We will see. And I hope that is red. I see a lot of green in there though, but hopefully it'll be red. Let's put the top on it and let it cook. Now, one other thing that you need to keep in mind when you're cooking hot sauce, you need ventilation, especially if it's super hot because it's going to get all in your eyes and in the air. You're going to be coughing and suffocating. So make sure you have good ventilation when you're making your hot sauce. Make sure you have your gloves on when you're making your hot sauce. And that's the big pieces, y'all. So we're going to cook this down. I'll bring you back right before I blend it up. Just want to show you that the vegetables are nice and soft. And so they are ready to be blended up. Before I blend these vegetables up though, before I do that, I want them to cool off just a little bit so I don't have to put unnecessary heat in my blender. But they're all soft, they're ready to go. So we will let them cool for just a minute and then we will blend them up. While we're waiting for the peppers to cool so I can finish the hot sauce, we're gonna jump back over to this black bean soup. And I showed you the black bean soup already. Nothing has changed, but I'm gonna mix up just a little bit of it so I can make a creamier soup. So here's the picture of what it looked like before I'm blending any of it up so you can kind of get a before and after. But this step right here, I am going to, I don't know, let's see. How much do we want to put in here? I'm going to start with like 3 or 4 cups. And we'll see. I could have put a few more beans in here, but I still wanted soup. I didn't want it to be too thick. Let's see what we got. This is, let me get one more scoop and it'll be 3 cups. So I got 3 cups. We're going to blend it up. I got it turned towards you, so hopefully I'm blending it really slow right now, but I'm gonna get a little faster. And then I'm gonna take this mixture and I am gonna just pour it back in. And now it's creamy. It's not thin. It's got a little creaminess to it. Beautiful. Let me bring you in close so you can see it. I could have blended up a little bit more, but that's good enough. And you see it's got a little creamier soup. It's just a little thicker, not too much. If you want it thicker than this, you can put more beans in, or you can blend the whole soup up and make it a smooth soup versus a soup with some beans still in it. That's their black bean soup for the week. Now that the peppers have cooled somewhat, we are going to get those blended up. And I am going to try to blend all of them at one time. I just don't know if I'm going to get 64 ounces in there, but we're going to try our best. If not, I'm going to have to put it in a bowl. And after I blend it up, I want to mix it up because I want to make sure that everything has the same flavor. It's not going to fit. So we're going to have to put some of this in a bowl, and then we'll come back and mix it all together at one time. But it's nice and soft. I don't want to put too much in the blender and have it blowing all over the place. So let's just put in here what we can put in here, and I will go grab a bowl now. I am going to blend this thing up like you would not believe. I am going to pulverize it. I am going to emulsify it. I am going to get it down to the point where you can't tell there was ever a seed in it. It's going to be silky smooth. If you don't have a high-powered blender like this Vitamix here, I think Ninja has a really high-powered blender as well. But if you can't do that, you are going to need to strain it. And you will put a strainer down and you will strain it. I strained last year and I left nothing behind. So I know I don't need to strain because of the type of blender that I have. But you may need to strain yours. So I want to be clear, to make it nice and smooth, you may have to strain. I'm not going to have to though. So let's get it started. On my blender, I also have a liquefy button, and I can put it on that liquefy button and I can just hit start and it will keep spinning and blending until it gets to the right consistency. And I'm going to run that one too because I want it smooth. I found a larger bowl that's not going to stain, so I'm going to use my mixing bowl instead. And I thought, y'all, I put it on soup. I thought I put it on liquefy. So it was heating up and everything, y'all, trying to make soup. I'm not trying to make soup. So I'm just going to go ahead and turn it off. I know it's super, super mixed. And then I'm going to put it in this bowl right here just so you can see just how smooth and creamy. Look at that, y'all. That's creamy. That's very creamy. But I got some more I need to mix up. I want to mix it all up before we call it good. I was trying to show you, but I got to do it this way, y'all. I'm sorry. I got to be able to reach what I'm doing. And we're going to do the exact same step with this last little bit, but this time I'm going to put it on the real setting I wanted it on. So now I have it on liquefy, and we're going to run it on liquefy. And it's done. And it has done the exact same thing that it did than I did when I was doing it manually. It did all the work for me and I didn't have to try to figure it out. So I just wanted to show you that setting as well. I'm gonna pour it all together, and then we're gonna taste. This is a 96 ounce, 96, that's ounces, right? Yeah, 96 ounce bowl. And y'all, I think it's full. I think it's every bit gonna hit almost the 96 ounces. The blender holds 48, I believe. We're gonna give it a little mix so we can make sure that everything is mixed together from the 2 batches that I just made. If your hot sauce is too thick, if you wanted a thinner hot sauce, you can add more vinegar. You can add water to thin it out. If it's already too vinegary, you might want water. I personally would add vinegar over water. That way I'm keeping all of the taste in there, and I would prefer it to have a little more vinegar than water. I don't like to water down that taste, if that makes sense. I'm getting ready to taste it, y'all. If it's too hot, ooh, I like hot sauce, but I don't like hot sauce. The consistency is perfect, so that part we're good on. It's hot. Oh, that's spicy. Woo! Woo-wee! Ah. It's hot. Whew. Okay. It is definitely hot sauce. Hoo, 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 hoo. I can taste the onions. I can taste the fire and the flames. But I can taste the onion. I can taste the garlic. But this is definitely hot compared to last year's hot sauce. It is a smooth texture, and no, I'm not going to taste anymore. I should have put it on a smaller spoon because my mouth is on fire. Ooh, but if your hot sauce isn't blended well, if it's too thick, I've told you what to do. If it's not blended well, you want to take one of these type of strainers and strain it. I don't need to do that. Mine's right where it needs to be. Now I'm getting ready to go out of town in I need to be out the door in about an hour and a half. Still got a lot to do yet, but I am going to, this is vinegar based, so I can just put a top on this. I can put it in the refrigerator and it will last for many, 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 many months. But for now, I'm going to put a top on it, put it in the refrigerator, and then when I come back, I'm going to jar it up in some real pretty cute jars. I'm going to give it out to folks, and then I am going to can it in a water bath canner so I can seal it and it can last for many years, not just months. So, whew, I'm going to have to call the fire department. Whew. Doesn't belong there. That's why I can't find it. All right, I'm going to go ahead and use my little funnel here. I don't really need a funnel, but this is heavy, and I don't have to worry about spilling it. Ooh, my mouth is on fire. And I actually like it thicker. I don't know about everybody else, but I kind of like mine a little thicker. And I changed my mind. I do not want to be on that. No use in getting it dirty. So I decided to go ahead and grab 3 of these little cute jars. And I'm going to show you how, because I already had them washed, ready to go. But I'm going to show you how I'm going to jar these up so I can give them away. Oh, that one's not going either. I'm going to have to hold it. There we go. That's a perfect jar right there. Yes, I have 3 people that can enjoy theirs while I'm out of town because I know they're going to swing by. So there's no use in making them wait since they keep asking about it. Oh, and my future son-in-law wanted his as well. So I have to jar some of this up quickly. Y'all, how am I gonna put this in my suitcase? I didn't think about that. Okay, all right. I didn't think about that part, but we'll figure it out. So we're gonna wipe the rims really good since these are gifts. Well, one of these jars are gonna have to be for my future son-in-law. Somebody else is just gonna have to wait. But there's my hot sauce. Why did I wait so long to do this? This was so easy. And these particular jars that I have right here, they come with this beautiful, and I'll make sure I put the link to these below, but they have these beautiful caps that you can put on top. Now I just got to remember, am I supposed to put them in hot water or am I supposed to use a blow dryer? That part I don't remember. Let's try the blow dryer first. And if this is wrong, don't laugh at me. There it goes. Y'all, look at that. Isn't that pretty? Oh my goodness, y'all look. So I ended up with, it would have been 3 quarts and a little bit. That's what it would have been. I have lids. That's cute. We will finish doing that as we gift them out. But for now, this is going to go in the fridge. So look at that, y'all. Isn't that just the cutest little thing? Cute little gift-size hot sauce. But y'all, that's it. I got my family 2 meals, 2 different types of soup, I should say, behind me here. And then we went ahead and canned up a ton of hot sauce. This is our year's supply. Actually, this is more than a year's supply for me. I don't eat that much, but I'll end up giving it all away and then I'll be looking for some more. But that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed hanging out with me in the kitchen just before I'm leaving for another week away. And if you enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel. I got all kinds of fun stuff going on here. I hope to see you back here again real soon, hanging out at Kim's Cozy Corner. Bye.